Level 1. The candidate. You don't apply to become an FBI undercover agent. Nobody does. You apply to become a special agent. That's the only door that exists. What's behind it? Nobody tells you until you're already inside. To get through that first door, you beat out thousands. The FBI receives tens of thousands of applications every year. A fraction get interviews. A fraction of those get offers. You are 27 years old. You have a clean record, a degree, and a score on the written assessment that puts you in the top percentile. You are exactly what Quantico is looking for. The academy is 21 weeks. It's part law school, part military training, part psychological stress test. You run, you shoot, you study, you sit through interrogation simulations at midnight and legal briefings at 6 a.m. You learn the Bureau's founding history, its chain of command, its rules of engagement. You think you understand what you're signing up for. On your last day at Quantico, as your class is preparing for graduation, an instructor pulls you aside. He doesn't shake your hand. He looks at you for a moment, the way someone looks at a tool they're deciding whether to pick up, and says 4 words. You have a fate. You laugh. He doesn't. You won't understand what he meant for another 3 years. They don't recruit the best agents for undercover work. They recruit the ones who can disappear. Level 2. The field agent. Your first posting is a field office, mid-sized city, white-collar crime division. For the next 14 months, you file reports. You draft affidavits. You sit in a gray cubicle preparing testimony for a financial fraud case that ultimately never goes to trial. You spend 9-hour shifts in a surveillance van watching a man who imports stolen consumer electronics and whose most dramatic daily activity is stopping at the same diner for the same breakfast every Tuesday. Former agents who've spoken publicly about early career life describe it the same way every time: 60 to 70% paperwork. The rest surveillance, testimony prep, and waiting. The FBI is a bureaucracy first, a law enforcement agency second. You are good at the job, precise, patient, detail-oriented. You don't complain. That patience, that specific, quiet, almost unnatural patience is being noticed. 14 months in, your assistant special agent in charge calls you into his office. No warning, no agenda sent ahead. You sit down across from him and he slides a photograph across the desk without a word. Mid-40s, dark coat, walking out of a restaurant in the financial district. We need someone who can get close to this man, someone he'll trust. You look up. Your file is already open on the desk in front of him. It's been open for a while. You can tell by the wear on the edges. They weren't evaluating your skills this whole time. They were evaluating your instincts. And yours just failed you, in the best possible way. Level 3. The UC Trainee. The program doesn't have a sign on the door. You are told where to be, when to be there, and nothing else. What follows is 6 weeks that restructure something fundamental about how you understand yourself. The first thing they build is your legend. That's the term, legend. A complete alternative identity, constructed from the ground up. New name, new social security number, new city of birth, new employment history, new personal history going back to childhood, which high school, which neighborhood, which version of your father. Every detail is cross-referenced, verifiable, and documented in files you will never be allowed to keep. Former operatives who've written about this process describe it as disorienting in a way that's hard to explain. You're not just memorizing a cover story, you're building a second person, and then learning to be them on command, under pressure, when someone is staring at you from 3 feet away looking for the crack. The training involves stress inoculation. Professional role players simulate criminal environments. They get in your face, they test your story, they look for the flinch, the pause, the half second where your real self shows through. You don't flinch. One of the trainers pulls you aside after a session. He's run this program for over a decade. He's seen hundreds of candidates wash out at this stage. He tells you something that is meant as a compliment. The day your cover story feels more real than your actual life, that's when you're ready. You don't sleep well that night. You passed every test. The problem is, so did the person they built to replace you. Level 4. First deployment. Your first operation is what the Bureau calls light cover. Short duration, lower risk target, handler close by. You are not going deep. Not yet. You are being tested in the field the way a surgeon's hands are tested before the real operation. Controlled conditions. Observed results. Your target is a mid-level stolen goods network operating across 2 states. Your cover is a buyer. Someone with cash, connections, and a reputation just dirty enough to be interesting to these people. Everything is prepared before you arrive. Cover apartment, cover vehicle, cover employment history. There's even a parking ticket on the windshield of your car, placed there deliberately, because real people have parking tickets and federal ghost identities don't. Someone thought of everything. Your first face-to-face meeting with the primary target lasts 11 minutes. You say approximately 40 words. He does most of the talking. He offers you a beer. You take it. You don't drink it. But you hold it exactly the way someone who might drink it would hold it. Easy, natural, like you've been in rooms like this your whole life. Afterward, in a parking structure 3 miles away, your hand handler debriefs you. He asks how it felt. You think about it for a second. Normal, you say. He writes something in his notes. He doesn't share what, but the look on his face tells you the answer wasn't reassuring. The target trusted you on day 1. Your handler warned you. That's the most dangerous sign of all. Level 5. Deep cover. You have been inside this organization for 14 months. You know the hierarchy better than most people in it do. You know who answers to whom, who resents whom, and who is skimming from whom. You know which lieutenant sends money home to his mother every Friday and which one hasn't spoken to his kids in 4 years. You know their routines, their weaknesses, their specific brands of loyalty and betrayal. You also know their families. This is the part the Bureau doesn't fully prepare you for. Behavioral psychologists call it role absorption. Around month 9, you stopped thinking of these people as targets. The FBI still does. That gap is where people break. Level 6. The compromise threat. It's a Tuesday. Nothing is different about Tuesday. It arrives as a look, a pause, a silence that runs too long. They tell you to hold, so you go back in. You don't sleep. You don't let it show. The math came out okay. This time. Level 7. The testimony. The operation ends. 12 arrests. Simultaneous coordinated. You are not there. You are somewhere else. You review your own voice, your own lies. Then you say your real name in court. It sounds strange, like it doesn't belong to you anymore. The defense calls you a liar. The prosecution calls you a hero. You are neither. Level 8. The ghost. 6 months later. New city. New office. Nobody knows you. Nobody asks. A junior agent wants your life. You tell him it's a good path. You don't explain why. That night the phone rings. A new name. Not yours. You repeat it. Twice. You don't sleep. Different city. Same mirror. Same light. You tape the wire again. Check it once. Check it twice. The face in the mirror looks like yours. Almost. The door opens. Someone is waiting. You straighten your jacket. You become someone else again.